Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Mackenzie and I'm a homeschooling mom to 4 kids. I am getting close to wrapping up my 5th year of homeschooling, which is crazy to think about. Can't believe it's already been 5 years. It has just flown by so fast. Something that we have kept through from the beginning of homeschooling all the way up till now is our favorite phonics program, and I'm so excited to share it with you today, and that is All About Reading. So if you want to hear more about All About Reading, stick around. So All About Reading is our go-to phonics program. Anytime anybody asks for any recommendations on reading programs, I recommend All About Reading because we have stuck with it from the beginning, seen every single level all the way through, and it has been so good for our family. It's been very thorough. My kids love All About Reading. They never really complain about doing the reading lessons, and I myself as a teacher love teaching All About Reading. It's just more of a fun, less dry way to learn phonics. I've looked at other phonics programs and they just seemed kind of dull in my opinion. So I just love that this just brings reading to life, because in those early years, learning to read can be really frustrating. So I really appreciate all of the fun activities that go into All About Reading. So after using this program for about 5 years now, I can honestly say that my kids have thoroughly enjoyed the process of learning how to read. But besides All About Reading just being a really fun program, I love how thorough it is and how explicit it teaches all of the phonics. And it is an Orton-Gillingham approach to reading. I do have a child that has dyslexia, and we had her tested when she was at the end of 3rd grade for her reading abilities, and she was tested at the beginning of 2nd grade, and that was just a year ago. And so now she's in 4th grade. And we tested her recently, and now she's like right on grade level. She is right where she needs to be. I was talking to the doctor that tested her, and she said that what I am doing at home with my daughter with her reading struggles, the All About Reading program is exactly the same way that they would be tutoring kids. The doctor actually said that this is something that she would recommend that any child learns to read this way. So I really feel like this is a great program, and I can honestly say that after finishing all 4 levels that my kids don't have any gaps in their reading, and that they have had a very robust approach to learning to read, and they are very confident readers. So in this video, I'm going to do an in-depth flip through of the first All About Reading level, and then I will kind of glance over the next 3 levels. All levels are laid out very similarly. Once you look through level 1, all you really need to know about the others is the phonics that are being introduced and the order, so like scope and sequence type things. And I will add chapters down below so you can skip to whichever level you're interested in learning about, but I highly recommend that you stick around for the first All About Reading level so that you can see how the lessons are set up, because it's the same for all of them. All About Reading is an engaging and multi-sensory approach to learning. They use auditory, kinesthetic, visual, all the different types of learning styles they use in the All About Reading program. I also love that it is a mastery-based approach that uses Orton-Gillingham. You are going to really focus on what you learned before you moved on. You got to master that. Everything in the lessons just build on what you've already learned, so it's very fundamental and very important that you master what you've learned in the earlier lessons before moving on to what's next. I do appreciate that this program is open and go. There are some things like certain activity pages that you need to cut out certain pieces, but I just have my daughter do that. All About Reading is also not specific to grade levels. So level 1 doesn't necessarily match up to grade level 1. And that is because of its approach and its very explicit approach to reading and the phonics and the order that they are introducing the phonics. And All About Reading is not very heavy on sight words. All of the words that can be sounded out, they really encourage the student to sound out those words and learn the phonograms and put them together. And so the order that they're going to be introducing the phonograms is different than what they're learning in public school. But she was actually really solid in her decoding skills, and she was decoding her much longer words than the kids in her public school were. So their levels of skill were just at different areas, but she was excelling in some areas and then a little behind in others. But then by the time she was done with her All About Reading, all of the levels, she is an extremely confident reader, and she knows how to decode very complex words. It's okay if it takes more than a year to get through a book. I remember, I think level 1 took us 2 years to get through with both my children. and then the next books we just kind of went through at a much faster pace. Since All About Reading is not corresponded to grade level, I encourage you to go onto their website and take the placement test so that you are able to challenge your child enough but not too much to overwhelm them and make sure that they are placed in the correct level. Okay, so enough chitty-chatting about All About Reading. I am going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you inside the book and show you all the materials and show you how the lessons are laid out. Okay, in the kit you're going to receive these cards. The yellow ones are the phonogram cards, and when you first get it, they're all going to be attached and you're just going to tear them apart. I like to laminate these because I feel like they just slide really smoothly and it's just easier to work with the cards that way. Plus they last longer. But I do think that laminating is definitely worth the time to do that. When you purchase the box, it comes with these filing cards. And then these green cards are the word cards. Okay, so in your filing cards, you're going to have phonogram review cards, mastered, and future lessons. So that's how they're going to set them up. If they have not mastered their cards, you're going to put that behind the review. And mastered are the ones that you're going to review every so often just to make sure that they are getting review on those. So even though the kit does not come with this box, I highly recommend it. I feel like I have tried to get other boxes before to store my cards, but none of them are really big enough. There's a lot of cards in here and this is so sturdy and it has really helped. We were putting it in a Ziploc bag before and it just did not work out very well. It was messy putting it on the shelf and the bags just kept breaking, but this is really durable and I would say that this is worth it. The program also comes with these letter tiles. They're super nice and sturdy. They're pretty much already laminated. I did not have to laminate this and I am sorry about the lighting. It is not very good. It also comes with these magnets to go onto the back so you can put these on like a whiteboard. When I was using my letter tiles, I was just using a whiteboard like this and I would build my words on here. I do not have like any simple letter tiles left because I decided to go with the app on their website. They have an app that basically is this and you just move the letter tiles around and build words within the app, and I just find that to be so much easier with organization and just not losing any pieces. I felt like I was losing pieces all the time. I just decided to get the app and it has been great. My kids love building the words in the app. But if you do decide to go with the actual physical tiles, which I understand in the younger years, kids like to do things like this, I would recommend to get one of these little whiteboards. And if you're planning on sticking with it for a long time, I would get a massive whiteboard and then put it somewhere where you can just keep the letter tiles on this and keep it hidden from kids that will be messing with it and losing like your letter tiles. Okay, so let's get into All About Reading Level 1. So like I said, it comes with the cards, not the box. It comes with the cards. It also comes with a teacher's manual, which is absolutely necessary. You cannot teach this without the teacher's manual. And this is the Blast Off to Reading activity book, and this is where all of the fun comes into play. They have these fluency sheets, and then they have these little activities that the kids just absolutely love. My kids get so excited when they get to the point in their lesson where they get to do these activities. There's lots of flip books, and so this has been really fun for them. All About Reading Level 1 also comes with 3 of these readers. Right now I just have book 1. My other 2 are in storage because we are not onto those books yet. But these are just the cutest little stories as well. They're so fun. My son gets so excited to move on to his next story because he just loves these stories so much. And they are just fun and silly, and they teach good morals and good character. And then it also comes with this progress chart, and this is also something that just gets them motivated and excited, and after they finish a lesson, they get to put a sticker on, so they like to see their progress that way. Okay, so let's take a look inside the teacher's manual and how the lessons are set up. Something that your child is going to need to know before starting level 1 is the alphabet. So there actually is a level before level 1. It is like the preschool level, and it is learning the alphabet, letters, and their sounds. I just decided to teach that myself at home, and it has been totally fine, and they have been ready for this level. This takes about 20 minutes a day. You can just set a timer and get going, and when the timer goes off, you're done. And lessons, like I said, often take more than one day to complete. It is not set up to where you are completing one lesson a day, so do not feel rushed in completing a lesson in one day. It's very rare that we complete one lesson in one day up until level 4. So do not feel pressured to get a lesson done in one day. In addition to your lessons, it is recommended that you read aloud to your student every day for 20 minutes. And if you guys are interested, here is the table of contents, and this is the order that they're going to be introducing the different letters and letter combinations. To see if your child is ready for this, you can go ahead and screenshot this. But they do learn a lot of like letter combos as well. They're learning, the sounds of the letters of the alphabet and then putting together and blending. Okay, so let's take a look at how the lessons are set up. So let's take a look at lesson 1. In each lesson, there is this manila, I guess you could say, colored box. And it tells you the objective of the lesson, the materials that you will need. So this is going to help in prep before you get started. I never take a look at this before I get started. I just kind of wing it the day of, and it seems to work fine. But if you are more of someone that likes to be prepared, this is where you need to look. This is just a helpful preview before you get started on your lesson. And I'm actually gonna start you on lesson 2 because this one has review, which is how most lessons are going to go. So after the manila section, then you're going to get into the review section. So you're going to review your phonogram cards that you have learned in the previous lessons and review your word cards. When I first started All About Reading, I had my daughter practice every single phonogram card and every single word card, and there were probably like 50 word cards in there, and it took forever. It took longer than the full 20 minutes. And so then I just decided to go to like about 10 review cards every day, and that worked much better for us. So if you need that adjustment, I give you permission to do so. So then after review, you will do new teaching. And so this is all the new stuff that you're going to do. You're going to teach your new phonogram cards, and then you're going to use your tiles to put those different sounds together to make words. And so you could either do this with your tiles on your whiteboard or with your letter app, and I prefer the letter app. Something that's nice about this is it has lots of different fun activities in the appendix to kind of bring this more to life if your child is wanting more activities. And it's very thorough in what you say and how you're going to have your child sound these out. And then there's a lot of word work in here where they will have you switch out different tiles for different beginning sounds to make new words. After you do that, there is an activity. And my children, like I said, always love these activities. They get so excited when they get to the point to where they have learned what they needed to in order to do the activity. And so you will do the activity. We don't get to this point in one day. We'll get like through a few words and then we stop, and then the next day we'll come finish some building of words, and then we'll do an activity, stop, come back and do another activity. So this takes us quite a few days in the beginning, but really it just depends on your child. And then after that, you will have practice reading cards towards the end of the lesson, and these are new cards that you're going to learn. And then there's fluency sheets in most lessons, and this is just to help build fluency. And then once that is done, you get to read to them. And I don't have this necessarily as part of this lesson, but it is a good reminder that if you haven't read aloud to your child yet, you need to do that. And then when they're done, they get to put a sticker on their chart. So that is basically how every other lesson is laid out. They usually have a lesson like that where you're doing an activity, you're building words, and you get new word cards. And then the next activity or the next lesson, you are getting ready to read the story in the reader. And so here is, the overview for the teacher, and then you will go into review. So you're going to do review cards, the phonogram cards and the word cards, and then here's some extra fun activities to do that in the back of the book. You can take a look at those, and then you can complete an activity sheet, They always have a warm-up sheet before you get into the story. So these are words that are taken out of the story that you will be reading at the end of the lesson. Your student will already be familiar with these words before they see them in the book. And then after they do the fluency sheet, there are usually some prompts to talk about the words in the activity sheet. There will be an opportunity to learn new vocabulary so that they understand what the word means before they see it in the book. And then you get to read the story with your child and have them read it out loud to you. During the story, it will have you stop after certain pages and ask a question, and this helps with comprehension. And then also afterwards, there can be some things that you need to point out in the story or some comprehension questions about the story at the end. So you can have a discussion with your child about the story. And then, of course, like it does every lesson, has you read to them for 20 minutes, and then you could put a sticker on your chart. The way this lesson goes is about every other lesson as well. So they'll have a lesson where you're building words, learning new words, and doing an activity. And then you'll have a lesson where you're reviewing those words, doing an activity, fluency sheet, and story. The levels are all very similar, but this is also a very fun level. It's frogs, which is really fun. I'll just give you a peek inside the reader. And this is the second volume, so there is another reader before this one, but this is about how your child will be reading towards the end of the level. Okay, and here are the activities from the activity book, fluency sheets. Okay, so my daughter is in this level right now, and she loves, every time I try to switch her to a different program, she does not like it. She loves this so much, and I'm okay with that because I have seen the fruit that has brought to my oldest child, and it has been so good. All right, and here is the scope and sequence for level 2. Okay, and for level 3, I do not have the activity sheet book because I don't have any kids that are in this level right now at the moment. You can reuse these teacher's manuals, and then you'll just have to purchase the new activity book for each kid because those are consumable. So I will just go through this book with you so you can take a look at what their level 3 volume 1 reader is. So this is towards the beginning since it's volume 1. I think this one has 2 readers as well. All right, and here is the scope and sequence of level 3. Whoops. Okay, and then on to level 4. So this is the second volume. So this is what your kids are going to be reading once they're done with the program, or once they are getting finished with the program. Okay, and here is the scope and sequence, or the table of contents of level 4. I just love All About Reading. It has been such a great program. I cannot recommend it enough. So if you are looking for a phonics program, take a look at All About Reading and try it out with your kids. I don't think you'll regret it. So I hope that answered all of your questions of All About Reading today. If you do have any other questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. I will try to answer all those questions for you. And like always, I have everything linked down below in case you are interested in checking them out further. So thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video today. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe for me, and I will see you later.